Hey guys, how's it going? It has been a great week on the property and I have another great week coming up on the property and I'm so excited. I'm sitting in one of the areas of something that's happened and I can't wait for you guys to see it. It's going to be a good week and it has been a good week last week. So we had a really good Easter weekend. It was super mellow, super chill, great vibes. We went down to grandma's house and Jalen made deviled eggs and it was a good time. So we had done 6 videos. I almost said 5. We're doing 5 this week. We had done 6 videos this last week, and first one was the Q&A that we had done. Then we finally filled grandma's containers. It took me so long to get those filled, but we have had terrible weather this year, and so I'm gonna blame it on that. We planted the side yard and turned the fountain on. Then we did behind the scene of a strawberry planting, where they come from. And then we did planting our strawberries and turning an ice chest into a planter and painting the porch pots. So it was a good week. There was a lot of planting happening and I thought the strawberry video was really cool. I don't think a lot of people enjoyed it, but that's okay. I loved it. I had so much fun with Rosie. It was such a good time. So let's get into the questions because it's a little overcasty, even though it says it's not supposed to rain, but it's looking like it might rain. First video that we did was the Q&A, getting rid of the munch goblins, which if you missed it, those are the little gophers or whatever it is that we're dealing with. I don't know what it is that we're dealing with. So one of you guys called it a munch goblin and I loved it. First question on that video is from Orty, and they had said, "You make me smile, why move?" When we bought this house, we knew it wasn't going to be our forever house. This was kind of we needed to move somewhere, and it was either buy this house or we were going to move into a rental. And so we ended up buying this house knowing that it wasn't going to be our forever home, that we were just going to enjoy the process and learn a lot here, and then find something that we really would like to be our forever home. Next question on that video was from Hot Rod Mom, and they had said, "Good morning, Rob, great Q&A. Have you tried peppermint oil for pests? I started using it for spider deterrent around doorways, but I found there isn't a pest who likes it. I think moles would hate it. I will try ordering some off of Amazon and give it a shot because I got aphids and spiders and moles, gophers, whatever they are. I'm gonna try it. I'll let you know." And the last question on that video is from Judy, and she had said, "If it has been raining so much, why don't you cover the planter with tarps so it stays dry? When you get time to paint, it would be nice and dry for you." I don't know. We've just had so much rain that I think even keeping it covered, it would just still lock all that moisture in under that tarp. And so I'm just gonna let it just dry out naturally. I got a million other things that I could do. I like finish a fence or move the gravel in the driveway or a million other things. So I do need to get it painted because I need to get it filled. I should probably cover it with a tarp. The next video that we did was I finally filled grandma's Vigo beds, and I'm so happy they're filled, and she is happy they're filled because she was like, "I would really like some color for Easter." I was like, "I got the hint, Grandma." First question on that video is from Elaine, and she had said, "Hey Robbie, love grandma's gardens and fish. Can you eat the potatoes from those vines when mature?" You can, but they're not grown to taste very good. So you can eat them. I wouldn't recommend it. I've never done it before, but I've heard that they're grown for the foliar growth. And so they've been, modified over the years in selective breeding to grow beautiful foliar growth and the potatoes not to have good taste. So, you do whatever you want, but I'm not gonna try it. Next question on that video is from Lorraine, and she had said, "Can you show us some update photos or videos mid-season? Would love to see how the plants do in terms of growth and bloom. Thanks for sharing this. I will definitely be back there this springtime and summertime. And as things kind of, fizzle out, springtime plants, we'll go ahead and we'll pop in new ones." Next question on that video is from Carla, and she had said, "Oh, your grandma is so sweet, and so are you, Robbie, for caring for her like this. I'm sure all grandmas would love to have a grandson just like you. Good job." Question: will the grass clippings cause weeds? The grass clippings will not cause weeds. Those will definitely deteriorate, and all of that is so far down at the bottom that none of that, anything that were to grow won't be able to grow because that's a really long way. The seedlings would run out of energy before they even made it to daylight. Next question on that video is from Dorothy, and she had said, "Hi Robbie, oleander clippings? I know they're toxic. Do they also contaminate the soil when used as compost materials? P.S. Love her yard art." Oleander is definitely poisonous if you're eating it. So you want to watch out for that. All parts of it are poisonous to people, animals, everything. They're really actually quite toxic. but my thought was we're not growing any vegetables in there. Those are just for flowers, and so we might as well just toss those clippings in there. And they're so far down there that if for some reason the toxins were to get into the soil, I doubt that they would start going up. They would probably just go down into the ground. So I wasn't too worried about it, and neither was Grandma, just because no vegetables are going to be grown in there. It's just strictly for flowers. Next question on that video is from Kelly, and she had said, are there other sprinklers on that zone that still water the grass? Converting sprinklers to drip confuses me. Yes, there are a ton of other sprinklers that still water the grass. They just took off one of the sprinkler heads and ran a line up to it. They just sprinkler heads just kind of twist on to your pipes. They're like a thread. And so my grandfather twisted it off and just put a long straight pipe and then capped it until we were ready to get there. So that bed gets watered when the sprinklers go on, because the rest of the sprinkler heads water the rest of the grass. And the last question on that video was from Liz, and she had said, I'm always looking for good compost. Where do you buy it? I'm in Biggs and have only found compost in Roseville at Green Acres, a long way to drive. We buy it locally at, it's called La Corona, but I'm not sure if he's even gonna be carrying it anymore. So I ended up buying I think 8 bags a couple days ago, just because I was like, well, I better stock up on some of it, which I should go back and I should just buy 5 or 6 more bags, because I'm not sure if he's going to be carrying it anymore. They are starting to do tires there now. So it went from a hydroponic place and a soil place, and now it is tires. So I buy it at La Corona locally, but when I was there a couple days ago, there was only a couple bags. And the next video that we did was planting the side yard and turning the fountain on, and it looks so good. Everything is still alive, still growing. It's so great. First question on that video was from V. Bryant, and they had said, hi Robbie, I've gotten a ton of inspiration from you and Janie. Question, what type of redbud is that? I live in SF Bay area, zone 10A, and planted a western redbud, but it died. It was in full sun, and I noticed yours is in shade. Thanks for any information. Ours is a forest pansy redbud, and it is definitely planted in more shade. My brother-in-law has one planted at their yard, and theirs is a flamethrower one, and theirs is planted in full sun, but they just planted it over the fall time. So we'll see how it does over the summer. Ours gets protection from a privet tree, which I hate. But yeah, it does get a little bit of protection from that afternoon sun. Next question on that video is from Carla, and she had said, where was the video crasher today? Was she snoozing? She's not doing her job. Yeah, she is always there. She is always very close. Let me show you. There, both of them are snoozing away. Oh, nope, heard a sound. You're crazy. They're always very close, especially Freya, and she was always on high alert. Next question on that video is from Kelly, and she had said, nice work, Robbie. It looks beautiful. Are you leaving the front of the fountain area open so that you can walk up to it? I don't plan to. The way that I just planted all those heucheras kind of looked like I was, but I do want to fill that entire area, and I don't really have a reason to walk up to the fountain. If I need to fill it, I mean, I can extend my arm, and we have a watering wand that can fill the fountain that way, so I'm not too worried about it. The next question on that video is from Bev, and she had said, Robbie, at 4 minutes and 59 seconds in your video, what is the beautiful short plant with the gorgeous pink flowers? Those are called cyclamen. They're really, really pretty. I planted those, I think 2 years ago now, or a year and a half ago at this point. And they were just picked up at Home Depot for a couple bucks. So cyclamen, they come in all different colors. I just bought them in the springtime in the pink and white. Next question on that video is from Jordan, and he had said, is there a successful section of your garden that is not on irrigation? There is no section of my garden that is not on irrigation. Everything here has to be irrigated. Even things that are drought tolerant still get some irrigation. I don't really have too many drought tolerant plants in my garden. But yeah, everything is set up on drip, because otherwise we just turn into a desert where we're at. We're at the base of a mountain, kind of in a valley. We're really close to a river, but it gets too hot and too dry. We'll hit 113, 14 degrees, and it'll stay like that, and we don't cool down at nighttime. Next question on that video is from Fabric and Flowers, and they had said, love seeing things wake up in your garden. Quick question, how is Lola doing at your neighbors? She's doing great. She is so spoiled over there. She gets whatever she wants over there of Mason and the chickens and the duck that they have, because Lola is really happy. Next question on that video is from Jeanette, and she had said, Robbie, are you changing the chair cushion color this year? I am not changing the chair cushion color because we have something else that is happening. And I was looking into changing the chair cushion color, and it was going to be hundreds of dollars. Like for like ones that were like, you know, thick cushions that were like nice to sit on. Yeah, it was gonna be hundreds of dollars. And I said, let's see if we can do something else. So whenever I'm waiting on a couple more boxes and when those couple more boxes show up, then you guys will see exactly what's happening. And the last question on that video is from Connie, and she had said, good morning all. I love your garden, Robbie, and I'm enjoying your channel so much. Where did you get the plant tag for that gardenia? That was actually sent out to me from Walter's Garden, which is who sent out the plant, who grew it for proven winners. So they special sent that out just for me. They sent out one for the gardenia, they sent one out for the Flavorette Rose, and they sent one out for the juiced orange jessamine, and they're like the nicest quality. But I know that you can go on Etsy and get like acrylic tags just like that. I will link that in the description down below. We bought one for a rose. I ended up killing the rose. It was like a $7 tag. Maybe it was $11. I can't remember. And I ended up killing the rose. But the tag was so beautiful. And so I will link that down below where you can get tags just like that. And the next video that we did was behind the scenes of where strawberries come from. And I had so much fun on that video. Rosie was amazing. And the people that watched it, I feel like really enjoyed it. That video performed so bad. So I don't know if it was, I mean, I know what it is. I know people don't always enjoy like informational videos, like long videos about one specific topic, and I know that, but it was so much fun. So let's get into it. I'm not going to be able to fully answer some of these questions. So if you do have certain questions, I'm going to say just email them and they will help you out. Because there's certain things that I still don't know. I'm not like the expert on strawberries. First question on that video was from Michelle, and she had said, wow, she has energy. What's in her strawberries? Perfect timing. I started some last year and I'm getting flowers, but not too many berries. Maybe not enough water. Can't wait for your next video on plant care. I would definitely go up on water and fertilizer. Fertilize your strawberries. And then the next two questions are from Dorothy. The first one being, what kind of nutrients can the plants in Egypt derive from sand? I don't know that, but my guess is that they're going in with like a liquid fertilizer and they're fertilizing inside their water system. I know a lot of like growing plants, what they do is instead of having to go and individually fertilize plants, they'll put it inside their water system. And so that way, as they water the plants do get fertilizer that way. So that's probably what they're doing over in Egypt. And then the next question from Dorothy. And she had said, hi, Robbie, Rosie is a wealth of knowledge. Are they located close to you? They're very close to me. They're about 30-ish minutes. They're in Chico, and Chico's about 25, 30 minutes away from me. So that's where they're at. And it was a cool little facility. I got lost finding it because it's kind of like tucked behind. But yeah, super close to me. And the next video that we did was planting strawberries and turning ice chest into a planter, and I think it turned out pretty good. I'm happy with it. I think it'll be even better if I paint it green. Maybe that will be the only planter I leave white. We'll see what happens. Everything here is so fluid. First question on that video is from Stacy, and she had said, okay, now I want to go strawberries. How long is the discount for it? VOG 25, right? Yes, and I will put it in the description down below. That is the code, or if you click on the link, it should automatically take it off. It is just for like first-time customers, and they said that they're gonna leave the code open for quite a while. So they said like probably to the end of the year. So just, you know, you've got time. If you're not ready to buy strawberries now, you can buy them later on. So VOG 25 takes 25% off of your order over $25. The next question on that video is from Nancy, and she had said, Robbie, have you considered green stalk for your strawberries? I've seen other gardeners use them for strawberries. Good luck. I haven't given it I mean, I did give it consideration when I saw everyone using it. And I think old me would have definitely been influenced and I would have bought one. But now I try really hard to think about what I want in my garden, and I try to think, okay, am I being influenced in this item? Yes, then I'm not buying it. Or do I really like this item because I personally like it, or am I liking it because somebody told me I liked it? And so I try to do that with everything in my garden. I try to only bring things in that I really truly like, and I'm not like super I'm not super drawn to the way that those towers look. I think it's a really great idea, and I think it's absolutely genius, especially for anybody who lives in like an apartment garden. That would be amazing. Or people with like really tiny gardens, amazing. I just don't love the look of them. There's other things that if they could like change the look of it somehow, I don't even know how. I think it's something that I would definitely consider, but it's not for me. The next question on that video was from Birdhouse Lady, and she had said, I have a question. Do we cut off the first flowers after planting, or the first flowers every spring flowering? The way I understood it was that every single year you need to cut off those first flowers. So like, I mean, if you're getting multiple flushes throughout the year, you're good, but it's the very first ones. And they told me that you can really tell because the first ones are on very teeny tiny stems and the flowers are very teeny tiny. Cut those ones off. Don't let those ones go to fruit. A bug just flew in my face. Cut those off and then let everything else after that grow. So that's kind of the way I understand it. I hope that helps. And the last question on that video is from Val, and she had said, good morning, Robbie. I have had awful luck with strawberries. I might have missed the answer to this question in either of the videos, but do you fertilize when planting your strawberries, or should you wait until they start growing? The way I'm understanding it, and the way that I did it, was I fertilized when they got planted, and then I will fertilize throughout the growing season. They told me that they are very hungry plants. I mean, like, try to grow a couple berries. Tell me that you won't be hungry. So they're hungry plants, they want lots of fertilizer, so fertilize at planting and fertilize them throughout the growing season multiple times. And then we put it in with like brand new, really good compost. Another thing that they told me that I forgot to even mention, and that you guys did mention also, was not to bury the crown of your plants. They don't want to be buried too deep, so make sure that like the soil level and then the crown of the plant is up above that soil level, reservoir, whatever. And the last video that we did was painting, and planting. And the last video that we did was planting and painting, painting and planting. The last video that we did was planting, painting. The last video that we did was painting and planting the front porch planters. Whew! Peter Pepper, pickled peppers. First question on that video was from Lorraine, and she had said, beautiful choice on the pots and mop head cypress. Are you going to plant up the front bed and window box next? Next? I don't know. Probably not next. I'm waiting to get my hands on a few plants and finalize my design in my brain of what I actually want in those beds. So we'll see what happens. The next question on that video is from Scrappity Doodah, and they had said, where did you find the brass watering wand? By the way, everything looks so awesome. Love the paint color. The brass watering wand is from Terrain. I love it. Brent hates it. It does have this little like knobby thing on there that makes it hard to turn the water off, and Brent really hates it. I don't care. I feel magical when I use it, so it doesn't bother me one bit. Brent would rather the whole thing just go in the garbage. The next question on that video is from Dorothy, and she had said, hello, Robbie. Where is Bootstrap located, like their main operation? So they've got two facilities. I don't fully understand it. So I think they produce everything in Texas, and then their main headquarters is in Pennsylvania. I think it's called like Downingtown or something like that. So I don't know which one they ship out of. One of those two. The next question on that video is from KM, and they had said, I've had issues with the weight of the pots compressing water lines if I come up through the bottom. Any hacks anyone else has figured out for this? You can buy a little feet pot, or what we've done in the past on a few little things, because like on smaller pots, the containers like kind of wobble. And so you can put like washers under them. So you could go get some like really big washers, and it just raises it up just a little bit. And you kind of put them in further into the pot, and then you don't actually see the pot. So you can do that, or you can buy a little feet pot. So those are my two hacks. Pot feet, feet pot, feet, feet pot, feet pot, feet. Pot feet, feet pot, whatever they're called. And the last question on this video was from Garden Glory, and they had said, hey Robbie, those pots look great with your house. Question for you. I have seen you have wire vine outside. I have one in my house. How often do you water that? Mine keeps getting brown leaves on it, Deanna. We water ours pretty regularly because it is outside. If you have it inside your house, I would check that it's not underneath an air vent, because if you put it under an air vent, the constant heat and then the constant cold blowing on it will turn those leaves brown. It could also be that it's not getting enough sunlight. Wire vine wants full sun, or it could be that it's not getting enough water. So I don't really let it dry out. The one that we have up front definitely stays pretty wet. So I hope that helps. So that is going to be it for this video, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you guys for coming along with me, and I hope that you all had a wonderful weekend, holiday weekend if you celebrate it, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.